Hey everyone, welcome back to another update. Today we're covering Wednesday, February 18th and Thursday, February 19th, a tense stretch where the DHS shutdown dragged deeper, US Iran nuclear talks showed cautious movement in Geneva, President Trump's new Board of Peace held its debut amid boycotts and pledges, and Epstein fallout hit new highs with Prince Andrew's arrest. Let's dive in. The partial Department of Homeland Security shutdown rolled into days 5 and 6 with no end in sight. Congress remained out for recess, leaving back channel talks between the White House and Democrats frozen. The administration rejected Democrats' latest proposal, limits on masked agents, random sweeps, use of force rules, and judicial warrants in sensitive cases, as very unserious and a non-starter. Democrats fired back, accusing the White House of lacking high-level effort and refusing accountability after the Minneapolis ICE deaths. Core enforcement, including ICE deportations and CBP border ops, continued largely unfazed due to prior year reconciliation funding, but non-essential functions felt real pain, with essential workers unpaid or furloughed. DHS officials warned of risks to public safety. Democrats framed it as leverage against overreach. With lawmakers not back until next week and no short-term CR floated, this could stretch well beyond President's Day, setting up a rocky backdrop for the upcoming State of the Union. On to U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. Diplomacy delivered this week's most-watched development. Indirect U.S.-Iran talks, mediated by Oman, resumed in Geneva on Wednesday into Thursday, lasting hours. The Iranian foreign minister called it more constructive than prior rounds, announcing an understanding on main guiding principles for a potential nuclear deal, though he stressed details remain unresolved and work continues. U.S. officials confirmed progress was made, but offered no specifics. Vice President J.D. Vance described it as mixed, with some common ground, but Iran unwilling to cross Trump's red lines. Trump extended his timeline for a decision on potential military action to 10 to 15 days, pushing back earlier weekend strike rumors, urged Iran to make a deal diplomatically, but kept threats alive, warning of bad things or regime change if talks fail. The USS Gerald R. Ford carrier group neared the region amid buildup, and Iran fortified nuclear sites per satellite intel. Both sides signaled war readiness if diplomacy collapses, but the Guiding Principles Agreement keeps a narrow path open for now. Switching to the Board of Peace inaugural meeting. President Trump hosted the first meeting of his ad hoc Board of Peace at the renamed Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace on Thursday, framing it as a new mechanism to resolve global conflicts, starting with the Gaza rebuild and security. Trump pledged a $10 billion U.S. contribution, and various countries committed billions more in pledges. He also said the board would look over the United Nations. Major European allies largely boycotted the event, criticizing the group's opaque funding, political mandate, and potential to sideline traditional institutions. The summit doubled as a fundraising push amid Gaza's humanitarian crisis, drawing praise from supporters but sharp questions from critics about transparency and effectiveness. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Zevo Life. Let me tell you about them quick. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder that it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. Secretary of State Marco Rubio placed sanctions on a Nicaraguan prison director for his involvement in gross violations of human rights. U.S. Marshals arrested a sex trafficker and Tren de Aragua gang member in Oregon. President Trump traveled to Rome, Georgia to tour a steel plant and give a speech on the economy and other topics. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon and the Solicitor General argued to the Supreme Court that Election Day means one election day. Stephen Colbert claimed that Trump's FCC prohibited him from airing his pre-recorded interview with Texas Democratic State Representative James Tallarico, but CBS contradicted Colbert's claims. Many in New York City are experiencing buyer's remorse after Mayor Zohran Mamdani betrayed his promises by raising property taxes, not lowering rent costs, and tapping into the rainy day fund. The man formerly known as Prince Andrew was arrested in the UK over ties to Epstein and suspicion of misconduct in public office, and he faces life in prison. The U.S. Commission of Fine Arts unanimously approved President Trump's new White House ballroom proposal, and Jack Posobiec reported several tower cranes are already working on the site. President Trump told reporters that Obama's comments on aliens revealed classified information, and he later directed departments and agencies to begin the declassification process for all government files related to extraterrestrial life. The Ninth Circuit Court struck down California Governor Gavin Newsom's law that banned federal immigration agents from wearing a mask to protect their identities. An attempted terror attack was carried out against DHS and federal agents in Idaho, where an individual stole an ambulance, loaded it with gas cans, and rammed into a federal building. Congressman Randy Fine filed the Protecting Puppies from Sharia Act, which would block federal dollars to any state or locality that bans dogs as pets. Lastly, President Trump announced he is dispatching $10 million to East Palestine, Ohio, to continue economic recovery in the region. That's February 18th and 19th in the rearview. The DHS shutdown lingers, with no off-ramp. Iran talks inch toward a framework under the military shadow, and the Board of Peace launches a mid-division. How long until one of these breaks or escalates? Drop your thoughts on Instagram or X at Shades of Jade Pod. If these 2-day rundowns are keeping you updated, subscribe, leave a review, and share. Thank you for listening and have a great day.